Hi guys. Welcome back to the series regarding recovering from elbow surgery from a patient's perspective. Elizabeth Scala here, a person who had elbow surgery just about a year ago and continues to recover. There's not much out there related to the patient's perspective, which is why I've created this series to hopefully help future people who may undergo elbow surgery and are looking for some insights and what to expect type tips. That being said, I got a story for you from occupational therapy. So after surgery, you'll likely get your cast or molding, whatever they've placed on your arm to keep it immobile after surgery. You'll get that removed, and then your surgeon will send you, he or she will refer you to either like a physical therapist or an occupational therapist. They're very similar. There's just some specifics related to their certification. You'll go to therapy. So I went to occupational therapy. My therapist was an occupational therapist. And I was at therapy in the month of September, which was 1 month after my surgery. And one of the technicians came up to me and said, "Elizabeth, we're going to start you on a new activity today. It's called the paint roller." And I was like, "Oh, great, the paint roller. I'm so excited." So I was actually sitting with heat, because when I got to occupational therapy, they would put my elbow wrapped in padding underneath my arm and above my arm, and it was heated, and they would sit me with the heat for 15 minutes. So she told me I was going to have this new activity as I'm sitting under heat. And then as I'm sitting there for my 15 minutes of heat, a new person who only had been to the office twice before. Now, I'm very observant, and my occupational therapy office was family style, so we could all see each other. So I'm sitting there with this heat, and I'm just observing what's going on around me. And I saw this woman come in, and she had only been to therapy twice. This was her second visit. And they asked her, "How are you doing, Miss So-and-so?" "Oh, I'm doing wonderful. The split that you made me, it seems to really help. Last night, I was able to go up to my guest room and paint. I've been working on this painting project, and I was able to paint." I was sitting there fuming under my heat. And then my technician said, "Your heat's done. Let's go back in the back room and I'll show you the paint roller activity." Well, the paint roller activity sounded pretty much like it sounded. They give you a paint roller, they put it in your hand, and they want you to roll this paint roller up and down the wall. I was like 20 days out of surgery. I wasn't moving at all. This whole thing was throbbing, and constantly whenever I would try to do anything, I'd have so much pain. I literally was to tears. Meanwhile, this Miss Perfect so-and-so, I was painting last night, and I've only been to therapy 2 days. I was pissed. I was jealous. I was sad. I was frustrated. I wanted to paint. I wanted to be that patient painting. I didn't want to be standing there with the stupid paint roller, crying into my mask. Oh yeah, my whole surgery happened during the pandemic. So if you're finding this video, no pandemic, I had a mask. Crying into my mask. Not even able to roll the stupid paint roller up and down the window. 2 minutes goes by, I put the timer down, I put the paint roller down, I come back to my seat, I'm sitting there like, this sucks. All right, let's all take a breath. Lesson learned for you all watching: don't compare yourself to other patients. First of all, the woman I'm telling you about, she wasn't even an elbow surgery patient. She was a hand patient. So I'm sitting there crying and moaning and frustrating and angering and feeling all this jealousy, resentment, and rage to someone who didn't even have elbow surgery. She was dealing with a hand thing. Don't compare yourself to other patients that you see at therapy. They may or may not even have your same injury. And even if they do, I heard this over and over and over, but it took something like 55 million times for me to hear it before I really wrapped my head around it. Every single patient's healing is unique to them. So that means timeline, that means recovery, that means pain, That means complications. That means range of motion, everything. Every patient's healing journey is unique to themselves. So even if I sat there at therapy and I had an olecranon fracture in my elbow, and Joe Smith sat next to me and he had an olecranon fracture in his elbow, I couldn't even be upset if he could do the paint roller and I couldn't. Because even if we had surgery the exact same day, at the exact same minute, at the exact same time, our healing is unique to ourselves. So don't compare yourself to another patient. Don't sit in therapy like he's getting better and she's getting better and they're passing me and I'm still sitting here and I'm still stuck and why am I not healing and what's going on? It's not going to help. I did it at first. I didn't do it anymore eventually. And that's why I just want to warn you up front. If you're sitting there in therapy and you're looking around the room like, why is she getting better? How come he can do that activity? How come she can carry so much weight? Why is her arm so flexible? Why is he smiling? Any of that. Don't compare. In fact, what I would do instead, and I talk about this in my book, what I would do instead, now that I know, is say, gosh, I'm so glad to see patients at this therapy practice getting better. That must mean my therapists really know what they're doing. Hey, my goodness, I'm so glad for him doing better. That means I likely will do better. Like, don't compare yourself. Instead, see those people who are having success as the possibility for your own improvement. Don't compare yourself to others. Just don't do it. It's hard. It's easier for me to say and not do, but I'm warning you. It'll get you down if you sit there and say, why is she better? Why is he stronger? Why is she flexible? I can't do this. Don't do that. Instead, I'm getting better. I'm progressing. I'm progressing in my own time, in my own way, in my own healing space. I'm getting better. I'm getting better in my own way. So I hope you're getting better. If you have questions or comments, let me know. If you've fallen into that comparison game, no worries. It's totally normal. Let me know about that too. Check us out over at elizabethscala.com. I've got some more resources and actually opportunities to work with you one-on-one. So let me know. All right, everybody. Till next time, heal well. Heal like you.